to see you both. Richard, to you first. Can you think of a single moment when liberals disagreed with an election outcome or a policy where they didn't charge racism?
Tucker, you know what's interesting?
Can you name one?
What's interesting about the efforts to shill for Donald Trump is that as he's saying, look, this was Paul Ryan who said it was textbook racism.
No. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you there. You may have misunderstood the question. I'm talking about the Brexit vote. The vote in Great Britain, not here.
No, I understand. Look, the fact of the matter is it was a complicated series of factors that gave rise to that vote. And I think it is hallucinatory for people who are Trump supporters to think that those same sentiments are somehow going to carry him. I have not heard any reference this morning to polls today. Washington Post, Hillary's up 51-39. Reuters, she's up 46-33. Trump is sinking. The more people hear from him in the general election pool, the more they hear the textbook racism, as Paul Ryan said, the less they like him.
Well, that may all be true, but of course you totally ignored my question. So to you, Ying, I mean, why is it that the left, every time, and I'm not even talking about Trump, let's talk about the Brexit vote. Why do they have to ascribe racism to people who want to leave the EU? Why can't they just say the voters voted, we believe in democracy, maybe they had a point, but they can't. It's always racism.
Right, because it's part of their DNA. I think they're delusional, and I think they always want to bury their heads in the sand. I mean, just remember, after the Orlando attacks, one thing that Donald Trump said was Obama actually appeared to be angrier at Trump than he was at the terrorist who killed 49 people. Now, to get more serious about this, what we do know about radical Islam in the U.S. is that there's a majority of Muslims in America who believe that they should have the option of being governed by Sharia law. That is a very serious problem, and that is something that affects our homeland security. Now, do you hear people like Hillary and Barack Obama talking about that? Of course not. They would prefer to talk about bigotry. They would prefer to talk about racism. And what people across the country will tell you is that they're sick and tired of politicians talking that way. They want someone who's serious about protecting us. And like Bill Maher says, there is actually something very serious that we need to be afraid of. Radical Islamic terrorism is something that we are genuinely afraid of.
And how about defending liberal values? I mean, Richard, as a liberal, I would hope that you think women should be allowed to drive. You don't think gays should be killed. You don't think we should be governed by a theocracy. You think women should be allowed to go outside without a veil on and talk to people they're not related to. And yet many Orthodox Muslims don't think that. And yet liberals won't say so. Why is that?
Well, first of all, what Ying just said about a majority of Muslims in the U.S. believing all this business about Sharia law is an utter fiction. But here's what I like about it.
How about any Muslims? How about anybody believing that? Are you
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
No, listen to me. Here's what I like about it. What I like about it. What I like about it, Ying, I didn't interrupt you, Ying. What I like about it is this is the same thing. Trump did well among the majority of Republican voters who think Obama's a Muslim, was born in Kenya, and do not believe in evolution. And he keeps talking to the same people, and what Ying is saying is the same thing.
But don't you think liberal values on their most basic level are worth standing up for? Do you think women should be allowed to drive?
Of course.
Okay, then why not say that? Why not say it's wrong to prevent them from driving, prevent them from going outside?
I don't think there's a single person, left, right, or middle, who disagrees with the proposition that women should have equal rights. If there was a person who stood up for that, it was Hillary Clinton when she went to Beijing in 1995.
Well, what about when she went to Saudi Arabia? Did she stand up for it there?
She did. She absolutely. No, you know what? You know what? You know what, Tucker? You know, the fact of the matter is Donald Trump is willy-nilly building developments in Saudi Arabia, and he loves it there. Okay.
So
Hillary's not doing that.
Tucker, since we're talking about liberal values, I just want to point out that a very popular conservative blogger posted a piece this week on Facebook. That was a Wall Street Journal op-ed criticizing the hostility that Islam has toward gay people. You know what Facebook did? Facebook banned this blogger from Facebook. Now, this is the kind of liberalism that we have in the United States, and that is precisely the kind of thing that will not help us defeat radical terrorism.
Nothing liberal about that. I'm the liberal here. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Good to see you both.
Thank you.